Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for attending the summit today. My name is Councillor Jim Murray. I'm the lead on sustainability in Eastbourne. A year ago, I turned around to the Eco Action Group and said, could you put together a transport summit for me? And that's all my input has been. And then they've done all of this. So a big thank you to all of them. The aim of the summit today is I've just taken over the role as a sustainability leader in Eastbourne, and one of my main things that I want to do is transform the way that we travel around the town. We need to do a modal shift. That's going to take some time. So this is the beginning of a long conversation around what we're going to be doing over the next few years to sort of work out how we can make people move around the town in a safer way and in a more ecological way as well. So we're looking at buses, cycling, walking, all of those methods that we can do rather than taking our cars out onto the streets. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Chris in a minute. I'm chairing for the day, so I've got to do the obligatory. This is where the exits are. The other exit is over there where you came in. If you need the toilets, it's just to the left-hand side of the desk where you came in. And there's a little corridor down there, and all the toilets are down there. And the teas and coffees, I think you've all found them during the day. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Chris, and we'll start the day's events. Thank you all.
Oh, thank you, Jim, and good morning, and welcome to the Sustainable Transport and Active Travel Summit Night 2023. This has been organised by the Eastbourne Eco Action Network in collaboration with Eastbourne Borough Council and the Eastbourne Chamber of Commerce, and supported by sponsorship from our conference partners. This is the second in a series of environmental summits designed to look at ways to meet our commitment to become carbon neutral by 2030. As the title of this conference implies, our transport systems are not sustainable enough, especially in Eastbourne, which is significantly car dependent and particularly exposed to the impacts of rapid climate change. The sustainable transport system and its complementary active travel infrastructure is not just necessary, but is accompanied by a host of co-benefits that increase the air quality for all, as we shall hear more about later. Cleaner air, safer streets and shopping areas, quieter neighbourhoods, better walking and cycling infrastructure, better and more reliable bus and train networks, greener traffic routes with fewer cars are just some of the co-benefits that would radically improve all our lives, especially the lives of those classified as being in transport poverty. According to a new report published this week by the Social Marketing Foundation entitled Getting the Measure of Transport Poverty, Eastbourne has one of the highest levels of transport poverty in the southeast. This means transport is difficult to afford for many, and public transport is often inadequate to meet their needs. As Eastbourne is very much in the front line of climate change, being a low-lying coastal community facing rising seas and stronger storm surges of a rapidly warming world, the impacts of climate change may be much more damaging to our local transport infrastructure than might be the case in many other areas of the UK. Today's summit is a good opportunity to inject increased urgency into our plans for that more sustainable and resilient infrastructure. Let us seize this opportunity and make the most of it. Let us journey towards a tomorrow of better journeys for all.
Thank you. Can I welcome Councillor Stephen Holt, please, to the stage? Councillor Holt is the leader of Eastbourne Borough Council.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming down today and joining us at what I'm sure will be a fascinating and very exciting conference. I know we're already running behind schedule in terms of the welcomes and everything else, so I'm going to keep my comments very brief, just to say a massive thank you to the Eastbourne Eco Action Network for putting this conference on and working so closely in collaboration with us. I'm incredibly passionate about making sure that Eastbourne as a council becomes carbon neutral by 2030. And I know that only by this close collaboration can we do so. And on something as tricky as transport, where so many of the emissions are caused by cars, buses, chains and everything else, to find a way of making that more sustainable and working together in partnership and having some of those difficult conversations head on, but in a safe and productive environment, I feel is absolutely integral. The fact that so many of you, transport experts, businesses, community members, have given up your time to attend shows just how much work there is and the drive and passion and determination we all share to make sure that happens. So thank you all so very much for coming today, and I look forward to hearing about the conference and meeting with some of you a little bit later on. Enjoy the conference, everyone.
And could I invite Caroline Ansell, please, to the stage, our MP in Eastbourne.
Good morning. I walked here today, so a cracking start, but the context, walked all the way from my home in the town centre, so not very far. And the sorry reality is, a few weeks ago, I drove my then 18-year-old car to the scrapyard. I confess, as I drove away, I felt a certain nostalgia, waving it off, so many memories wrapped up in it. But modal change, as mentioned by Councillor Murray, is now firmly upon me. So I'm looking forward to a brave new world. And those of you who know me know that in younger years, very much younger years, I was a very keen cyclist. And in fact, I cycled from my old town home in Gore Park Road to Seaford. I can't even imagine today how I scaled those hills, because then it was all pedal power. Today, it's an e-bike. The salesman told me, yes, e-bikes are proving very popular with women of a certain age. A stellar future there for him. But can I add my thanks and congratulations to Eco Action. They put on previously a really fabulous solar summit, and I think today will prove just as insightful, just as challenging, and I hope will garner all the same learning opportunities and wins that we need to take our town forward. Because the truth is, transport absolutely sits squarely at the heart of three important pillars, that being the challenge around the environment, our economy, and also health and well-being. And you see that story very firmly in the numbers. So 30%, that's the reduction in risk of dementia if you are engaged in active travel. 23%, that's the CO2 emission of the transport sector. In better news, 36.5 billion, that would be the economic boost if we were to achieve this shift. This is the economic boost courtesy of increased high street spend and connection to local employment opportunities. £2, that's the new price of a single bus fare, anytime, anywhere. Really important concession. £3 billion, that's the active travel spend in this Parliament, which again reflects the really important work that we need to do and the change we need to broker. And actually, that is Eastbourne's story. Eastbourne, the town we know today, came into its own with the advent of the railway. Although Eastbourne claims through Eastbourne Buses to have the oldest bus company the world over. And Eastbourne, of course, has a very colourful transport past. I don't think any of us will remember the tram that used to run along the seafront, or the airstrip that is now long since buried in history under the Sovereign Centre, or maybe the goat sheds that used to pull tourists along the seafront, or even the hot air balloon, not a means of travel, just tethered, that floated rather more, even here in the Devonshire Park. But transport is defining to place and to people. And that's why, for me, transport has always sat at the heart of my campaign for this town, even though my background is as an educator. The A27 obviously was a very important first priority around safety and around reliability. Rail also, aviation too. But in all these sectors, that pursuit of carbon neutrality or jet zero, as our airlines like to call it, is what needs to hallmark the future. And there is a really important future for us to strike out for, and you're going to hear more of that in each and every session. I'm looking forward to the workshops. I'm looking forward most particularly to hearing and learning what it is that we need to deliver for our town so we can really realise the very great potential we have. And on the back of that learning, I will be taking those messages, those challenges, those petitions back to Westminster and to the new minister, who has in his portfolio active travel. There's one thing Eastbourne has never had, and that sits within his work too, a spaceport. There is no limit to my ambition for this town, and maybe we really do need to reach for the skies. But congratulations to organisers, thank you to sponsors today, and a welcome, if I may add, to all delegates. Very much looking forward to speaking to people in all those breakout sessions and to every workshop that follows. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So today we've got the leader of the council here, we've got our local MP, both giving up their days to spend with us. We've also got representatives here from the Labour Party, from the Green Party, from the House of Lords. This is a cross-party problem that everybody in the country is facing and that Eastbourne is sort of facing up to and trying to do something about. So when you come to the breakout sessions and things later on, let's ask those awkward questions of everybody, but please keep it friendly, all right? I've been around for a long time as a local councillor. I know that there's a lot of anger in some of the groups that we've got in the room, but today is the start of a long conversation to make a difference to everybody. So whilst ask the awkward questions, please do that, but let's keep it all nice and friendly today, please. All right. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Daryl Gale, who is the Director of Health in East Sussex. Thank you.